The energy standoff between Moscow and European Union comes just months ahead of winter, when heating is vital. But while Russia has started limiting supply, the nation's foreign minister, Lavrov, claims the European Union is partly responsible for the current crisis, saying the continent has deprived itself of supply.
Poland, several months ago, stopped taking gas from a direct pipeline from Russia. Ukraine stopped one of the two transit lines through its territory from Russia. There was some hassle with the turbine, which went for maintenance to Canada. Then Canada didn't want to bring it back. I listed 5 or 6 factors which immediately negatively affected gas supplies to Europe volume-wise. And of course, the less you buy from Russia through a pipeline, which is a price established for long term, the more expensive price is on the spot.
As Russia's supply links with the US and the European Union dwindle, business is opening up for Africa. Italy is just one nation seeking a deal with Algeria and looking to boost gas deliveries to its nation by an extra 4 billion cubic meters this year. Algeria's ambassador to Ethiopia raised the issue of gas supply at the meeting with Lavrov in Addis Ababa.
I am the ambassador of Algeria. My name is El-Hamdi Salah. With the approach of winter, during which gas importations increase, how does Russia intend to export its gas and circumvent the economic sanctions?
The Russia foreign minister said Europeans have suffocated themselves with their own hands and said it was up to individual nations to decide whether to help plug the gas gap.
The pipeline routes from Russia now, they're looking for alternatives. And I know that Mediterranean, including Algeria, is one of those sources. They would be asking you to help. And it's up to your company to decide, it's up to your government to decide. In our case, our experience is that when we had long-term contracts with Europe, these long-term contracts protected our interests. But a few years ago, Europe started cutting long-term contracts, saying that let's shift to the spot market. And the spot market does not guarantee that you will have a long-term investment justified.
Russia, too, is seeking closer ties with Africa. Part of Lavrov's target in his Africa tour has been to set the stage for the second Russia-Africa Business Summit. The first was held in Sochi in 2019. His visit to Africa, analysts say, is timely, and the continent should warm up to more investment from Russia. Very few African countries sent representatives to this interaction between the Foreign Affairs Minister of Russia and the international diplomatic community in Addis Ababa. However, as a bloc, the African Union has reiterated that it does not want to take sides in the Ukraine conflict and has insisted that Russia and Ukraine must find a peaceful, lasting solution to the conflict. The feeling of individual African member states, though, is divided. 25 African countries abstained or refused to vote in the UN General Assembly motion to condemn Russia's invasion of Ukraine. And analysts believe Lavrov's tour is part of a bid by Moscow to reposition itself more strongly on the African continent. Coletta Njohi, SABC News, Addis Ababa, Ethiopia.